Man, this will be interesting.
or computer screen about how bad their game is just because it goes against their agenda. For those of us who are used to this sort of behavior from the rats already, or are able to ignore them somehow, that's one thing, but my concern is for the newcomers, people who will join the gacha community at large through future gacha games. And I don't want them to have a bad time just because they came across one of St. Tontas' fanboys, or worse yet, they become one of them, which is exactly what rats like him want in the first place, so that he can keep farming views and attention with little to no repercussion. I don't want them to come in, see what gacha Twitter or YouTube is like, and then never want to interact with anyone in the gacha space ever again, or even worse, join them like I said before. The fact that gacha games have a pretty bad reputation out here in the West to people who don't play gacha doesn't exactly help either. So as someone who wants to see gacha games evolve, especially the perception of them, seeing content creators like these run their slot mills is not what I want to see happening. I remember one of my viewers asking me when I was talking about this on
See, this is what I don't get. Is like he's trying to like pose as like some sort of online martyr within the gacha space. It's like, yeah, I get it, but what are you gonna do? He wants it to evolve. You can look at his room. I mean, he moved, and then nowadays his webcam has like is different now without the weeb shit. Like this is at this point, this is just an old video. Like I don't know, man. Like he didn't move. Like oh, he still has the weeb merch stuff on the side. I get. I mean, at least it's different, but he still has like the past where it's like he still has the past videos where I couldn't even take this seriously though. I don't even know anymore, man.
stream one day, and so what? If people want to make React Andy slop content and talk shit on other people in the community,
Why is he watching the F Fake Grand Order Annie stream? I have no fucking idea. I think the funny thing was like he was watching was it the JP Annie stream or was it like I think it was. I think that was the funny part about it because I was looking at this. I was like, what? Why? What does this got to do with you? That was because you were just playing fucking global. Motherfucker does whatever he wants apparently.
and rage bait, you should let them. What's so bad about it as long as it brings in the views? To answer that, other than the fact that you get people like Tectone and St. Tontas from it, I want to give you an analogy. Think of the gacha space online as a park, for example, where you go to hang out, play basketball, go for a jog, stuff like that. This park has a lot of people who use it on a regular basis to do whatever it is they like doing there, stuff you normally do at a park. But then eventually, either suddenly or gradually over time, you start getting people coming to the park because it's getting popular and they don't treat it properly. They litter, throw rocks at birds and squirrels, smoke when there are no smoking signs 3 feet away from them telling them not to, vandalize stuff, tag stuff with graffiti, and in general don't take care of the park like they should, and be a nuisance to everyone else around them who are actually using the park correctly and respectfully. And because there's no security at this park, because why would a normal ass park like this have dedicated security, and because other people don't want to tell these assholes to stop being assholes, these people trashing the park will keep making more and more of a mess out of it, and all the shit that they're doing will affect more and more people using the park and their enjoyment of the place. Not only that, but a lot of newcomers who come to
Okay, just don't go to that particular park, I guess. Like, don't what? You're talking. You're either like talking to viewers that hasn't been to a fucking public park for so long, and it doesn't, and the analogy doesn't really matter, or that it's. I mean, I can understand the correlation here, but it's kind of whatever to me. Just go to a different place.
the park to check it out will see the kind of mess that people are making there and not want to come back. And not only will they leave with a negative impression of the place, but also they'll wonder to themselves how the people who've been using it could let the park deteriorate to that degree, and thus they'll develop a negative impression of those people too. And it's not like they're gonna know how to differentiate between the assholes actually trashing the place and the ones who actually use it properly. And unlike the rats, as someone who genuinely cares about gacha games and is deeply invested in seeing its evolution over the years so that I can better understand them and, more importantly, better teach people getting into gacha games about what they're really like. Naturally, I don't like what I'm seeing the rats do to the gacha space right now. I enjoy playing gacha games, but I also enjoy seeing other people enjoy gacha games as well. Seeing people get excited for new characters, whole new gacha games even, celebrating their roles in gacha, showing off their latest builds for the characters, making fan art for their games. These are the kinds of things that I want to see on Twitter, not the fucking clown's 4th or 5th attempt at slandering a Hoyo game, failing miserably, and then blaming the community for that game for the dumb shit he's pulled like he's some sort of protester who thought it'd be a great idea to go protest in the middle of a highway and gets pissed off that he got his ass run over. I've spent the last 8 years having a ton of fun with a lot of different gacha games out there, and I want everyone
Standing in the middle of the street and fucking make videos are fucking different, dude. At least making videos about it, there's like no fucking hurdle unless you're like report a video. What the hell? Oh boy.
everyone else who truly enjoys gacha to do the same. But if you're here to push an agenda, to push a narrative that only paints certain gacha games in a good light but others in a bad one, then straight up, I don't think you should be a part of this community. And while usually I don't have a problem with content creators who choose to focus on React Andy content, if you call yourself a gacha content creator, but your content consists of nothing but, or mostly, React Andy slop, and you're part of the rat pack glazing one gacha and demonizing another, you're
Oh my god, that's so funny coming from him.
not a gacha CC. You're a gacha tourist. I said at the beginning of this video that the problem with the gacha space right now basically boils down to gacha tribalism that's spiraled out of control. But that's actually only half the story. The other half of the problem, until very recently, was due to everyone else, myself included to a certain
I'm surprised he hasn't tried to re-roll his life. I mean, dude, like, it's so amazing he hasn't even done that. Like, how long has he been doing this? I'm pretty sure he's been doing that for like over several years by then. Like, imagine posing like this while also trying to sweep shit like this under the rug. like it's so crazy. Like, what are you trying to do with it right now? Like, oh boy. What to do from here? Like, no wonder Solteki got annoyed at that dude. Like, throwing your fucking like content creation like out of the window and just doing shit like that.
an extent, not doing anything about it. The thing is that content creators don't want to deal with the rats in the first place. They don't want to speak up against them because they don't know how to respond to them whenever the rats start going crazy in the rubber rooms, right? Shoving their hands up their own assholes for their hottest trash takes and shit opinions that nobody asked for. Or they're afraid of the backlash that they'll very likely receive for getting involved with the rats in any way. Or,
look, I'm not a big fan of Plushie Mistress, but didn't you spit out at him earlier? Like, you fucking spit out a Plushie Mistress, whatever the fuck he was doing.
put even more simply, they would prefer not to engage with the rats in the first place. About 2 months back, when I started getting involved in the crossfire myself, I asked another CC, who I will keep anonymous, to see if they...
See, this is the thing. Like, no matter how much I be creative with the insults or using the engineer shit or throwing out like stuff out the window like that, like Touhou doesn't care. Any shit like that, it just makes it so his own gets pleasured. That's the thing. If he was like shriveled like a raisin, he wouldn't have to stroke his own ego anymore. But unfortunately, that's the cookie that tends to crumble, I guess.
They wanted to discuss all the drama going down, but they declined, saying that they couldn't afford to deal with any drama at the time, and I doubt they've changed their stance since. I've heard about how St. Tontus and Pokey had a run-in some time ago, and how it was explained to me was that Pokey eventually got tired of dealing with Saint's shit and decided to apologize just so that he could get out of it, with Tectone of all people acting as a mediator of all things, assuming he wasn't just backing St. Tontus's ass the entire time. If that's more or less accurate, then that should go on to show you that even a streamer of Pokey size doesn't want to deal with shit like that. Hey, I myself can tell you all about the weeks following Tectone's reacts to some of my delusional gacha takes videos, and how I had the absolutely lovely experience of dealing with some of his more delusional viewers coming into my chat to regurgitate the same ad hominem insults that their dear leader Kim Jong-un shoved down their throats in his own streams. I can tell you all about the fucking retards who showed up in my chat to do nothing but glaze the shit straight out of St. Tontus's gaping asshole. Obviously not all.
Oh, that's wonderful. Like, wasn't there like a statement you made where it was something to do if you uninstalled Honkai Star Rail or whatever other gacha, then you're a fucking retard. I don't know. Again, irony at its stake.
All of their viewers are that brain dead. At the very least, for the moment anyway, it's only a few of them so far that have bothered going out of their way to talk shit. But the fact of the matter is that with slop creators like them, there's a very good chance that they'll have at least a handful of viewers who unironically guzzle the shit that's coming out of their mouths. But while I can deal with the occasional drone from Tectones or iTomas or St. Tontus's chats, or whichever chat of a dogshit streamer they're from, coming into mine to start talking trash to me personally, obviously I see why other streamers wouldn't want to. If streamers have the choice, then I would assume that most of them would rather not have to deal with people like that in the first place. And if minding their own business is what keeps them out of drama, then of course they'll keep their mouths shut. But even if their reasons for not wanting to get involved are understandable, that doesn't change the fact that with no one to keep the rats in check, they can run around causing as much havoc as they want. And whenever someone does try to speak up against them, they'll just use smear and intimidation tactics to silence them and get back to chewing on whatever the fuck they want, whatever pushes their agenda further. And as I mentioned earlier,
Is the screenshots being leaked of you is also part of smearing? Like again, like I was told on Discord that the screenshots were leaked and it was real. So is that actually like a smear? Like, do you need to be an engineer when it comes to your God of Gachas shit going up in your bunghole?
I'm not exactly blameless myself in this situation either. As someone who goes around calling himself the God of Gacha, this is something that I should have seen coming, or at least I think I should have, and something that I certainly should have at least tried calling attention to sooner, to warn the greater gacha community about before things started getting out of hand. I mean, even Mujin called him a fucking clown as far ago as last year, so he was very likely one of the first ones to see St. Tontus for what he truly is. It's too bad the rest of us didn't follow suit. Hell, I remember a part of me thinking last year when I first heard about this St. Tontus dude going off the deep end about Wuthering Waves that he was just going to be a flash in the pan and that nothing would come.
So Tuhu being okay. So he wants to be a martyr in terms of like gotcha communities and all, but the only thing I can hear is like he thinks he can just, you know, he thinks he's so creative with insults. It was like, dude, like, is there like, don't you have like any other strategies besides that?
Come of his hate boner for gacha games. But then again, perhaps even if I did do something back then, it wouldn't have really mattered. But not anymore. Because the good news is that now people are starting to speak up against the rats, or at least against St. Tontus now that for some reason he really wants to die on the hill of Miasma is a shit mechanic in Zenless. We got videos from people like Flip and others calling out St. Tontus for his bullshit, and while it took a bit for people to finally get fed up with him enough to do that, it's better a little late than never. And if St. Tontus wants to keep rattling his little cage like the pet hamster he is and guess who owns him, then he can expect to keep getting his ass tossed into the microwave and get cooked some more. We even got Ryuko out here apparently leaking his DMs with Tectone just to show how much of a fucking bald-ass rat he is. Ayo, Baldy, it don't feel so good when somebody else leaks your DMs now, does it? I thought getting filtered by Limbus Company was bad enough for you, but this is just embarrassing. Because of
Baldness is like apparently like the go-to insult. But now afterwards he says like, "Oh, how does it feel to get your DMs leaked?" And I was like, "Okay, take a shot every time irony is involved from his from the top of his fucking mouth."
Of this, because people are finally starting to realize that these rats are becoming more and more of a problem in our community, I'm making this video to urge everyone and anyone out there who truly cares about gacha games as a whole, which ideally should be all of us, regular players and content creators alike, to take a stand against these rats. These tourists who masquerade around as gacha players but contribute nothing to our scene other than push agendas, spread false information, bloat the space with react slop, and or harass other players and CCs online who go against their agenda. People already love doing all that shit all over social media right now, and I don't know about you, but I would personally rather not see that happening here in the gacha space either, more than it already would have. Now, some of you may say, hey Tuhu, you're not
What do you want us to do? You want me to like commit into online arguments? Is that the thing? It does seem like the case here.
exactly a paragon of great behavior either. You've made a few videos that could be seen as harassment with how harsh your language was, in particular.
I'm not gonna be a loser by picking fights with the shit you're dealing with other losers. Because because again, it just makes you come off as a loser. The losing of irony.
The delusional gacha takes 3 video where you roasted Ryuku over his tweet in regards to Genshin and Wuwa splash arts. You've been talking a whole lot of shit yourself even in this video about content creators that you don't like, and of course there's a whole god of beggars and god of unemployment thing that's a favorite among the rodents in the sewers known as Tectone's YouTube and Twitch channels. For my delusional gacha takes videos, you wouldn't be wrong. I deliberately cranked up the shock factor in those videos by using very harsh language to attract new viewers. But even if I ignored the rats that those
Of course. Gotta love the way you talk.
videos also attracted, I couldn't ignore the fact that even viewers who weren't rats were questioning why I felt the need to be that harsh. That's why for my delusional takes videos 4 and 5, I've toned down my aggressive language significantly, while I'll still gladly talk shit on
No, you didn't.
the slop creators as I've demonstrated throughout this video. I do not want my shit talking to totally dominate those videos anymore, because I've come to realize that if I were to keep making videos like that, I myself would eventually become no different than the creators I'm criticizing here. I myself will be.
Are they wrong though? Well, that's the thing though. Like the what Tohu saying about these people that he doesn't like. Like, okay, are they wrong to also hit you back? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, he thinks he should be the only one throwing all the punches though. Like, bro, one day someone's gonna challenge you into a fucking a boxing match in exchange. I cannot even take this seriously though. Coming from someone who acts like he's a rich whale, and also the screenshot where he makes fun of FGOJP players for rolling for characters past NP5. Oh man, how much of a hole can we dig until we hit the hottest center of the earth?
Become what I am telling people to fight against. Not to mention with Ryuku in particular, since this is rather topical at the moment, while I'm not a big fan of his past behavior on Twitter with tweets like these that he's since deleted because he's gotten accepted into a Wuthering Waves content creator program of some kind, and while he and I clearly have differing views on various gacha topics, what I'm even less of a fan of is how Tectone behaved towards Ryuku recently. All that just because Ryuku had a take that Tectone didn't like, huh? At least Tectone sent his rats my way after I roasted his divorce in one of my React videos from 2 months ago, which I actually took back and apologized for soon after in the same video, by the way. But yeah, I'll take back what I said about Techie's wife because I don't know the full situation there.
Apparently, Solteki told me in Discord that Tuhu is an incel. And then when I was looking at the definition of it, it's like, okay, does he ever have a girl in his life? This is the thing. Because even I'm laughing at the part that Tuhu thinks he's so good with 15 gacha games and him being an incel. It's like, okay, does Tuhu have any proof that he has gotten a girl in his life?
I heard was Freem leaving his ass, his sorry ass. But if there's more
Gee, I wonder.
details to that I'm not aware of, then all right, I'll refrain from commenting on that from now on. But not surprisingly, I guess Tectone didn't see that part now, did he? All this to say, even if you're not a rat, you still might not like me for any number of reasons. You might not like.
Wait, so you can address that, but you can't address the fucking you trying to like being the god of e-beggar part? What the? You're trying so hard. Not only you're trying so hard to rage bait, you're trying so hard to sweep that under the rug. And I was like, oh, and you can make the argument. It's like, oh, you just got baited by fucking oh man, oh, you just got rage baited by Tuhu. I'm like, okay, I think it's fun. It's so hard to take it seriously. I mean, hey, at least Techie has a woman in his life. Fuck, man. Like, so are you saying that are you proud to be single? Is that why? Whatever.
Like how I call myself the god of gacha. You might not like how I've done several of my videos in the past. You might not like the fact that I have body pillows of VTubers on the wall behind me because you think that's cringe. And that's fine, because the biggest priority that I have right
Yeah, you're not, you don't care. You're just proud to be a lolcow in this game. Bruh, I don't think it's about like stroking the own ego part. Like, I think he's at this point it's called gooning to his own ego.
now is to help clean up the gacha community online and educate people on gacha games with upcoming videos like these, so that we as a community are better informed and better equipped to deal with the agenda pushers and the clout chasers. And not just me either, this is the biggest priority that I want ideally all of us gacha players to have right now. Because the more people know about gacha games, the more likely they'll be able to tell when rats like Saint Tontus and the rest of them are trying to bullshit them. And at the risk of sounding like I'm ego farming, who better to teach people about gacha games than the dude who spent the last 8 years playing 15 of them. Sorry, the horse girls got me. Goldship abducted my ass, and now she wants me to spam speed training for the next hour. But it's not just the knowledge. It's about...
Uma Musume Global. You know what? You got me. You know what? I try to pick up Uma Musume myself, but I guess that's one thing I got. Apparently, I'm defeated by the gacha god. Apparently. Oh man. I'm just laughing at this part. Like, how are you gonna manage like 15 at once? Especially the fart dust too. Then again, my fucking Grand Blue Fantasy account is in the dust, but that is if someone can actually buy it off with like 3 digits worth. Or at this point, might as well be to a quarter of a dollar at this rate, because it tends to be hard to catch up apparently. And anytime I said that, I'm a moron.
having the right attitude as well. The willingness to learn about gachas, to have conversations about them, even if that means talking to people who have different opinions than you. You can grind all the gacha you want, but if you have a piece of shit attitude, then you end up just becoming some dipshit who thinks that HP inflation and miasma are legitimate problems in Zenless. And St. Tontus doesn't even grind that game. He apparently only plays Zenless like once a month, by his own words, by the way. So what chance did he have of becoming anything else? And to top it all off, besides my sheer gacha experience, I've been down in the trenches. I know what it feels like to get targeted by the rats. I've seen my content get dislike bombed. I've seen people I've never even heard of, like before 2 months ago, start talking shit on me because bandwagon is all they know when it comes to content creation. And most importantly, I know my shit and I can handle my own fair share of trash talk. Did the rats think that calling me shit like God of Beggars and God of Unemployment was really gonna get me shook? Think they're gonna need some better ammo than that, man? I don't know. Hey, yo, Baldy, got some more lead left in the blicky? You might need to dig a little deeper into your DMs, I think. That worked last time. What you got for me this time, bitch? And while I mentioned before...
Man, he's so keyboard warrior brain coded in his fucking brain. Like, okay, you've also lost the subscribers within your YouTube channel as well. Like, you think you're fine? I'm not the only one who's like the quote unquote dislike your fan. Like, come the fuck on, dude.
That other CCs out there have already made videos calling out some of the rats and the shit they're trying to pull, I think that someone out there needs to make a video calling on everyone in the gacha space as a whole who calls themselves true gacha enjoyers to see the rats for what they truly are and what they've been doing for the past 6 months or longer. And if no one else out there has made one yet or is willing to make it, well, you're watching it right now, because who better to make a video like that than yours truly. And the reason why I say everyone is because on our own as individual players and even individual content creators, it will not be easy dealing with the rats. They're loud, they're obnoxious, and they don't give a fuck about anything other than pushing their own narrative or their agenda. And anything and anyone that doesn't fit it, they spread their ass cheeks open and start shitting everywhere. Because the bigger pieces of shit they are, the harder it becomes for them to be dealt with. Normally, in most other communities online, the best course of action to deal with people and creators like this is to simply ignore them, right? Let them talk their shit, and eventually, hopefully, they get bored and move on to other stuff, or they'll make a really bad mistake, get themselves into some drama, and then leave that way. But unfortunately, in this case, for us in the gacha space, I don't think that's gonna work. Saint Tontus will keep making his dog shit content from that little hamster cage of his, and he's only gotten worse over the past year now that he's routinely escaping from his cage to go attack other creators. Tectone is gonna keep calling other content creators that he doesn't like for whatever reason pedophiles, and as I said at the beginning of the video, more and more people will see their behavior and try to emulate them to make the rat infestation even worse. I've spent the last 2 months observing the gacha space, seeing how things play out, because my channel getting attacked by Tectone's rats from, 2 months ago? Maybe that was an isolated case. Maybe they only came after my ass because of my whole,
Does that explain you streaming like every few days was why? Or, oh, like a once a month upload? Actually, no, like minus the fucking whale logs or whatever that's spouting out like over 1,000 times by now. But still.
Gacha god thing, which is at least somewhat understandable if that's the case. But as it turns out, no, I'm far from a one-off case. The rats really do just go after anyone and anything that doesn't subscribe to their agenda, or if they happen to offend their fragile egos. Which means that the only chance that the rest of us have at fighting back is to simply be louder than them. And I don't just mean that in a, be more active on social media kind of way. No, we have to make more content than them, and we have to make more content on them. All those videos and tweets that people have been making recently calling out St. Tontus's misinformation and bullshit, yeah, more of those, please. We have to keep up the pressure on them because their kind of content and behavior does not benefit anyone or anything in the overall gacha community except themselves. And besides, if their agenda doesn't tolerate anything that goes against what they like, then why should they expect to be treated any differently? But that cannot be the only content that we make. I can't stress this enough. We also have to keep doing what we've already been doing. That is, making content on gacha games we enjoy. Be it character guides, endgame runs, drawing fan art, and making cosplays even, because that's content too. And all in a civil manner, of course.
Oh boy. he sure loves cosplays. Like, okay, maybe don't spend most of your lifespan this year getting stressed over some ridiculous shit, I guess. I but I guess apparently to him, like, I guess it doesn't seem to work out that way, I guess. Two guesses within the same sentence. Gee.
Even if the rats try to attack us and try to force us to stop, we cannot let them dissuade us from both calling their asses out and doing what we've been doing before they showed up, like the cancer they are. In other words, I urge everyone out there, both regular players and content creators alike, to take pride in your gachas and your content, as long as you make your content in earnest without having an ulterior motive, and you don't feel the need to indiscriminately shit on other games and creators like the rats do. And for those of you out there, regardless of if you're a content creator or just a regular player, who feel like, you know, none of this has anything to do with you, right? You don't plan on making any drama content or otherwise getting yourself involved in any of this in any way, and thus none of the rats should have any reason to attack you in particular, and so you'll just carry on as usual. Here's the thing. I think that it's less a matter of if and more a matter of when. While you could try to stay low and just mind your own business to avoid alerting the horde, anything you say or do, the rats will use as an excuse to harass you if they find any reason at all to go after you. You can make a video pointing out the mistakes in St. Tontus's videos. You can be initially on his side, then try to cut ties with them, and then apologize for it later because he threw his rats at you. You can have a disagreement with Tectone on Discord. You can make an 11-minute video glazing the fuck out of Wuwa, but say one tangentially bad thing about it, and pretty soon you'll have a rat infestation on your ass before you know it. Hell, all you really need to do is just say something like, oh, I like NTE, or I like Genshin, and some rat will come along and hit you with the, oh, so you hate Wuwa? And again, if streamers like Pokey, Envy, and Genazod aren't safe from the rat harassment, what makes you think you're any exception? So, fellow gacha gamers, it's time. It's time to take a stand against the growing tide of rats, to fight against them and their agenda, their misinformation, and their deliberate vitriol. Gacha games belong to gacha gamers, not to the vermin who are only interested in spreading their own version of the fucking bubonic plague. And I don't know about—
Well, how are you gonna? Okay, so if he says rats, should I say to whose audience are hogs then, or what's the creative way of saying it then? Aside of hog, I mean hog and pig is the same thing. So
about you, but I'd rather not see these rats run around as they please in my domain. Sorry, actually, let me correct myself. Our domain. But this problem ain't gonna clean itself.
Wait.
Rather not see these rats run around as they please in my domain. Sorry, actually.
My domain. This is my house, bitch. That's a one hell of a misspoke.
Let me correct myself. Our domain. But this problem ain't gonna clean itself up, boys. We have to get in there, myself included, and get our hands dirty and clean this shit up ourselves. Now, I understand that there are some content creators out there who will still refrain from taking a stand due to various reasons, whether personal or contractual. All I ask then is that you avoid the rats and prevent them from influencing your words, your actions, your communities if you have one. As long as you and your communities understand that their actions do not serve the best interests of the overall gacha community whatsoever, that's the least you can do. I also want to emphasize that while I've talked plenty of trash throughout this video, I want to keep it within the realm of gacha. What I mean by that is this. Take Tectone, for example, right?
You sure took your time. That's a one hell of a big effort right there.
I've thrown quite a few shots at him throughout this video already, but I'm also aware that he's gotten himself into plenty of other shit in the past 2 months. Don't get me wrong, while I would love to jump on this chance to roast his ass even more, I want to refrain from doing that because then that would no longer be about gacha games, and then I'd just be attacking him as a general content creator. I only give a fuck about gacha games as far as I'm concerned as a CC, and so I'll only pull the trigger on stuff that Tectone does in regards to gacha. If he wants to drama slop about anything else, fine by me, that's his problem and not mine, so he can go off and pick fights with people like, I don't know, Hassan and Ludwig all he wants. I don't give a fuck. I made the mistake of bringing up his divorce, and as I showed earlier—
Damn, I didn't know Tuhu mentioned the Hassan, the boogeyman supporter. How did that get to his mind by then?
I already apologized for that and took it back, and I still want to stand by that, by the way, even if Tectone himself clearly didn't see the apology part and started leaking our fucking DMs because of it. That's okay though. He might be the bigger streamer, but I am the bigger man. And yes, even with the anime body pillows in the back. And I want to extend this to all the other slop creators too, for better or for worse. I'll only pull the trigger on my videos when it's related to gacha. Otherwise, aside from small trash talk like calling Saint Tontus a ham.
So I'm not even gonna like point out the hypocrisy. So it's like, oh, it's okay for him to like, you know, apologize over some like petty shit that he spews out. When it's him being caught for trying to get some help of the move out and whatnot, oh, it's wrong. Yeah, he says that he's the bigger man than him. Oh man, that's by what bigger man exactly?
Hamster or calling Itoma Timu Clint Stevens, anything else that's not related to gacha at all, like personal stuff or other content that doesn't have anything to do with gacha in the first place, will be left alone. I'd like to ask to be given the same treatment, but I don't know. For some reason, I don't think that's gonna happen. Speaking of treatment, for those of you who also don't like the rats or the slop creators, I'd like to ask that you try to do the same. Keep it to gacha and don't make your comments personal. That's what rats do, and you guys are not rats. You guys are better than that. Finally, I mentioned this very briefly earlier, but I want to reiterate it at the end of the video here. Not all of the people who watch the slop creators like Saint Tontus and Tectone and the others are rats themselves. While I've generalized and talked a lot of trash about the rats as a whole so far, I want to make it clear that unlike the slop creators who have no nuance and no sense of self-restraint.
Okay. Let's go back in that one because that's a one hell of a doozy.
A lot of trash about the rats as a whole so far, I want to make it clear at the end of the video here. Not all of the people who watch the slop creators like Saint Tontus and Tectone and the others are rats themselves. While
Wait, if I say Touhou's viewer base or audience are pogs, imagine if I say, well, not all Touhou's audience are fucking pigs. Like,
While I've generalized and talked a lot of trash about the rats as a whole so far, I want to make it clear that unlike the slop creators who have no nuance and no sense of self-restraint, I don't want to commit friendly fire by just blasting their entire viewer bases wholesale. And the reason why I call it friendly fire is because quite a few are
your goat needs to chill. No, I love to see the dude get angry because it's like, because this motherfucker and all these his audience, he's like, oh, why are you so offended over it? It's just like this is literally like the one big ass paragraph that I got from earlier. He was like, it just radiates that kind of shit.
Your response to me indicates you have feelings on this matter.
Like, come on, man. And honestly, like maybe Touhou needs to get his meds checked.
their viewers are still a part of this community too. A lot of WoA players out there genuinely enjoy that game instead of just playing it for the clout. And even if they prefer it over Genshin or other Hoyo games, seeing their fellow WoA players talk mad shit about other games isn't what they want to see, because that just makes the rest of them look bad too. Or maybe it's because they play both Hoyo and Kuro games. Mind-blowing, I know. This even applies to some of the rats themselves too. While many of the rats clearly do not care about the well-being of gacha games as a whole, some of them still do. They are what I'd consider to be actual gacha players, people who do genuinely enjoy gacha games, but for one reason or another, they find themselves gravitating towards one particular gacha and watching slop creators who they think share the same opinions as they do about gacha. Even if their behavior can be at first quite confrontational, if you give them a chance to explain themselves and their opinions, sometimes they give you the opportunity to have a discussion with them, right? And as I said earlier, having a discussion is the most important thing that we can do. Having an honest conversation with these players is exactly what needs to happen if we want less problems like this in the future. Even if we can't come to an agreement on various things or topics, and of course we'll always have our own preferences, what's important is that for those those rats, for the ones who are willing to talk it out. We reach out to them and at least put in the effort to listen to what they have to say and then try to have a conversation with them. They say that one rotten apple spoils the entire barrel, but me personally, I don't want to give up on the ones that haven't gone bad yet. But in the meantime, speaking of rotten apples, I'm looking forward to Baltimore and the rest of his dog shit slop crew jerk themselves off to this video, so hey, don't let me down, rats. Give me a good show. And you know where to find me? I'll be right here. Not like I'm going anywhere though, because I don't get banned every other week like Tectone does. For everyone else though, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to.
Well, they definitely know where to go on his Discord server and whenever he streams. Like, Touhou sure treat this internet like it's a geopolitical war going on. It's just like, what the hell, man? And then ever since you uploaded this video, it's like it's not even like 2,000 dislikes. I'm pretty sure this 2,000 dislikes because how much food. Because of the okay, I'll stop.
To the channel. Sorry for taking so long to come out with this video. I got lots of stuff going on IRL, and I'll probably need some more time to get going with future videos too. If you want to support me even further, check out my Patreon page and my streams either right here on YouTube or over at twitch.tv/TouhouSniper98. For those of you who stuck around for the whole thing, thank you very much for watching until the end. The rats are coming, and they're gonna do what they do best. Gaslight, gatekeep, insult, and in general, act like the gutter trash they are. And all I have left to say to them at this point is that I would love to see them fucking try. Let's do this.
Oh no. Oh no, what do what do I do? Did he actually put a 5-minute outro? That is a long one. Like no end of video or anything. Like, what the hell? Yeah, wonderful. That's definitely worth my time. Are you sure you don't have a crush on Touhou? I only have a crush on him when he acts like a complete. I like him when he just thinks he's so good or rage bait. So that's just the gist of it of whenever he does shit like that online.